Hello, this is Lisa Russick with the podcast We're All Psychic, and today we have two freaking awesome guests. We have Susanna and we have Puran. Would you guys like to say hello?
Hi, Lisa. We're so happy to be with you and explore our psychic abilities, which I think everybody has, depending on their belief system.
So you do think we're all psychic? You must have psychically known I was about to ask you that. You just jumped in there and said something about it.
Well, Lisa, it depends on your belief system. If you think there is one heart and one being, then everybody has the ability to be psychic. If you don't think that there is one heart and one being, well, then you need all kinds of tools to become psychic.
Yeah, I did work to get to where I am now but I did have the spirits coming, and that was something I could never understand. Now, do you guys communicate with spirits at all? Or there's a lot of different types, but as I've found anyway, I'm sure you have. Why did you get to this answer of, both of you think we're all psychic, right? Both of you agree?
Oh, I would say it's like asking, can everybody swim?
Yeah.
Because some people don't think they can, and some people can, and they know that, and some people
have to learn it.
Everybody can learn it.
I've never heard that analogy before, ever, like swimming. That's a really good one. It's kind of like riding a bike, because I can't ride a bike, but I've taught myself to be able to read cards and stuff like that. It's just not something I felt like I was born with, I was more born with spirits around me and empathy when I got hit like puberty. But I was not a kid who was like, this is all, I can see spirits. And I was communicating with my stuffed animals like they were spirits. They probably were, and they had big detailed stories and I had a big imagination. But I wasn't a kid who people were like, why did you know that? Nothing like that happened to me. I was alone most of the time anyway. I was like out in the woods and, nature child. And, it was the 80s. So we just played. And nobody really... I don't know. I wasn't a psychic kid. And so many people who've been on the podcast were. Now, both of you, were you able to access your psychic senses as children?
Yeah.
You were?
I had a lot of experiences that you might call religious, or you might call spiritual, or you might call psychic. But they were, extraordinary things that people don't usually get to feel.
Yeah. I have been able to feel them as an adult. And I think every child has miracles. Miracles is like a child's life. But what about you?
Well, I'm always very interested in life, how to move forward in life.
Yeah.
And I'm somebody, I went to college and I actually stopped my education. I was at the University of Vienna and I stopped because I strongly felt this is not where I want to actually end up. I studied clinical psychology, and I did not want to end up in mental hospital being a test psychologist. So I stopped before I finished my dissertation.
Yeah.
And moved into theater, and I was quite successful. I did little movies, and I worked at the State Theater of Basel. And then I stopped. I said, that's not what I want to do either. And it takes a lot of power to make those kinds of decisions.
It does. To even know that.
And I moved to America, of all places.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, and...
What called you to America?
Well, that's what I tell you. Have you ever tested your psychic guidance or your psychic intuition?
Like by another person?
Well, no. When I moved to America, I was in a different language. This is not my language. And in the first year, I struggled. I didn't even want to talk, although I learned in school English, right? It wasn't my culture. I didn't have my family around. I didn't have friends.
Yeah.
So you put yourself like a fish out of water.
Yeah, especially without a language and communication barrier. That's insane. I just moved here to Nashville without knowing anybody, but I have the language. I can't imagine going somewhere to a country and not knowing the language at all. What was your native language?
German.
So you probably had a base in English. It's a Romance language. So, but German and English are very different. Yeah. Yeah. But I can see you being an actress. You have very empathic eyes. Your eyes absorb and reflect. Do you see it? Do you see it in her eyes? They like express so much. Your empathy is on like off the charts, is what I'd guess, because your eyes express everything you're feeling or what you think what you are feeling, other people feeling. It's like I can see it in your eyes and it imprints. Now, listeners and watchers, I'd love for you to comment. Can you see that in her eyes? You can comment, watchers. She's just expression. She's so expressive. I love that. That's so cool. So, listeners and watchers, this is very interesting. They are going to do a demonstration. We're going to do a demonstration on the podcast. Do you want to tell the listeners and watchers what you all kind of do and how you help people?
Yeah, well, we started the school because we were asked to do so by a very famous, well-known teacher, and we were his students. And he asked us to start a new school, which was really unheard of, but we did, and we specialized in one thing, and that is the heart. Our whole meditation is based on the heart because the heart has special characteristics. It's both physical and it's energetic. It creates a magnetic field, and it remembers who you are and what you're about. So when
it never forgets. It doesn't know time, does it? I never thought about that, but the energy of my heart doesn't know time.
That's right. And
it doesn't.
And one of the things you want to remember is, what am I here for? What project was I given? What did I volunteer for?
That's my biggest question I go to in a reading. I'm not sure. I still haven't figured it out. Now I've got one idea, two ideas, but I don't have a sure idea personally. But most people don't seem to.
And the mind can't help you with that because it doesn't have that information. It's only in the heart.
It doesn't know.
So in our meditation, you go into your heart by breathing and by focused attention. And it begins to speak, and it reminds you of things that you buried,
Okay. So listeners, when they told me about this, I said, I would love to do that. And I told them, if you're a regular listener and watcher, you'll know I've been going through a year or two process of, or maybe even longer, of trying to integrate my thinking and logical thinking and emotional heart feeling together and work with them together in life and in relationships. And I was just explaining that to you two listeners and watchers, to our guests before the podcast. And they said, yeah, we can work with that and do guided meditation, right?
All right. So let's do this. So in heart-direvn meditation, you take a simple posture, sitting wherever you sit.
I can lean back if you want me to.
It's better not to lean back.
Okay.
Because in heart-direvn meditation, we use the nervous system.
Should I take this off?
No. That's all very fine. You're looking just great.
Okay.
And but you go ahead and become aware of the room, the space that you're in. You can even look around and feel the space, because that is where you are at home. You can even look at some objects, that make you feel grounded. And
I can get some rocks. I'd love to get. I have all kinds of crystals and stuff that I can.
Right.
I can look at them. They're everywhere. Yeah, I can do that.
Right. Just look at them, and then you can close your eyes and see if you can hear the sound in the room.
Okay.
And feel the sound, the energy in the room, and both those things sort of make you comfortable in the space that you're in, and then you connect and become aware that you're breathing. We breathe all the time, but now you make your breath conscious. And you become aware that there's an inhalation and an exhalation. And we can actually modulate our breath and make our breath slow, full, and deep. Really exhale fully and completely, and even contract our abdominal muscles in the exhalation. And when you inhale, widen your abdominal muscles, widen your rib cage, and come to a full inhalation. And repeat this breathing cycle of completely exhaling and inhaling. And feel if that feels comfortable to you. And maybe at this point, when you breathe fully, slow, and deep, maybe you feel your heartbeat or your pulse. And then you can literally see for how many heartbeats or pulses do you inhale And for how many pulses or heartbeats do you exhale? So there is this very slow, steady rhythm of the breath, inhalation and exhalation. And there is a much faster rhythm of the pulse. It's like a beat of a drum, of the pulse or of the heartbeat. And when you synchronize and feel these two rhythms, and through counting the breath in the rhythm of your pulse or heartbeat, you actually feel that your heartbeat can really expand the heart, and you're more in a field rather than just feeling your physical body. There's the energy body opening up for you. And then you can stay with the energy of the heart, and you can ask your heart, what is my heart wishing for? And that, what is my heart wishing for? That kind of question you put on your exhalation, and then see when you inhale, what comes back to you towards your heart, because the inhalation comes towards your heart and the exhalation you send out. And see, you ask, what is my heart wishing for? And if you do this over and over again for a few times, maybe the same answer comes. When the heart starts speaking, the same answer comes back to you. And that is a short example of what we call a communication from the heart. So what is my heart wishing for? And then, yes, and then you let go of thinking and experiencing this way, and just sit and ask yourself, how was this experience for myself? Could I follow it? Was it too long for me and I already was lost much earlier?
Oh no, this has been, I mean, I'm supposed to give you feedback right now, or am I supposed to keep listening? Or I'm just in this.
You can give feedback, Lisa.
I'm in this blissful state because when you got to ask the heart, already it was telling me you have your answer. You're happy. It was saying you're happy right now, and this is where you've been trying to get to, and you have your answer. I didn't ask it anything though. I was just like, what? Well, you like what you said. You were guided. Just let it. And it just, I feel there's no words after that, like words. There are just feelings of just divine expanded love, divine love, the divine presence of love, just of all things, of your voice, of the people in the world, of animals, the creature. I mean, everything. I felt gold, like a color gold, as though I experienced like I am gold.
Wow.
And I mean, everything, like, it just like hit me that I have everything that my heart wants. And my heart is happy. And I didn't know that. And it is. I mean, I am pretty happy in my heart because I've been true to myself for the last couple of years, almost in every regards that I possibly can be in the moment. I've tried to be authentic to everything I believe in and what I'm feeling here, not here. And like, I'm trying to put them together. And I think I just was told I did it right. I'm going to keep doing it right. I don't think it's like something you stop. I think it's something I keep building on, right?
Right.
This, yes, because I felt just this beautiful experience from this meditation already. I hadn't listened to it like that. I do a meditation where I listen to the 5 parts of my, energetic body, physical body, mind, heart, and core. I consider like this core right here through our solar plexus and heart and sacral, like a section of me that has to be addressed. I don't know what it is. I just call it my core. And that's the last thing I'll focus in on as far as what it wants or what's up with it, what's going on there. And I kind of feel like that's the intersection of everything, the other four. It's just like where they all kind of converge and make up their mind about how they work together, in that area of chakras, maybe. I don't know. So
we really follow you. We know what you're talking about. Very good.
Thank you. I learn a lot from people on the podcast like you guys. Honest to God, this meditation has just educated me a million times over. And a lot of you guys are just blowing me away with what you taught me. And I tend to be like a psychic who learns by osmosis, like when people do stuff, I learn from them. Your demonstration has taught me how to do this for myself. And maybe I can teach someone else, how to listen to their heart better now because of what you have taught me.
Yeah.
So the core idea is to use the heartbeat as a timer.
I felt that. And I'm a musician, so that is not hard for me.
Right. So instead of the clock on the wall, which might be ticking, you use the ticking inside.
Yes, I felt it. It was my whole body. And then my heartbeat was my entire body.
Excellent. And then you use that timer to control your breath. See, we can change our breath. It's one of the few things we can actually change. The heart we can't change directly, but the breath can change the heart.
Yes.
So you breathe in time with your heartbeat, like 6 heartbeats in, 6 heartbeats out, or 8.
That's what I was doing, 4 in and 6 out when I was counting, and it was going with the beat of my heart. The pulse of the breathing, if that makes sense. Like
very good.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's hard to put into words, but it was.
Yes.
Like music. The beat was there.
Very good. So then work up to 8 in and 8 out.
Okay.
But to have this inhalation and this exhalation, the same count, makes a big difference, has an effect on your whole life. Inhalation and exhalation, because you give and to take. And for most people, it's not in balance. It's amazing how many people exhale twice as much as they inhale. And you're like, how can you do that? And that's a habit.
Speed. Yeah.
It's a habit on how we live.
Is. Now, I have a condition called hypermobile Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. Now, the first person who diagnosed me with this is a chiropractor, and he was exactly right about what to do with my diaphragm. He says people with hypermobile Ehlers-Danlos is a genetic condition, and you put books. They eventually get you with books, but we have to breathe with our stomachs. None of us know how to breathe with our lower bellies. None of us. Not a single HEDS person have I met, and I've met a lot in the field, oddly enough. And it's supposed to be rare, but it's not as rare as they think. And it's helping so much. And when I was doing this meditation with you guys right in the beginning, it was hard. But because I'd practiced this technique that this doctor taught me, I was able to do it. But if I had not practiced what he taught me, I don't think I would have connected to it, because I was when I first started doing that kind of breathing. It was impossible to hold like my belly out. It was like, it's too hard. There's no muscles. There's no muscle tone, strength, or anything in that area for most people with HEDS. It's just really weird. We were all shallow breathers, and we were taught to be in we are built to be in fight or flight all the time because we have to hold our joints together. And that's what our body decides to do to hold our joints together, is go into fight or flight. So it's kind of just how it happens naturally. So it's kind of interesting. And it always keeps the stomach tight. And all my life, I've kept my stomach tight until that doctor explained why. And I was like, wow. So it's been 3 years that I've been doing these stomach exercises, probably sometimes skipping them altogether for 2 months and then going back to them for a week or 2 or something like that. And then doing it, extensively every day. That's a lot for me, for about 5 minutes, 3 minutes. And just really, because it hurts. It's not easy when you have no muscle, for me anyway, no muscle in this area to build it up for my lungs, to expand into. And I didn't know that. So it's really fascinating, listeners and watchers. If you try this technique with us and you listen along and that part's difficult for you, check out your breathing and see if it's like you think you might be a natural shallow breather like me, and there may be a reason for it. I know anxiety alone can cause that shallow breathing, but other things can too, lung capacity, but mainly what I would know of would be anxiety to hold that all tight in through the lower extremity of my torso, or lower torso. I don't have an extremity in my torso. Those would be my legs, I guess.
You know, these are babies. Babies breathe with their whole body. When you're a newborn, you breathe like that, your whole body.
Yeah.
And
I've never had a baby, so I've never watched one.
But you saw babies, right? No, you should go and.
I've never seen babies. My old co-host, her daughter had a baby, and I spent a little time with her.
Wow.
And there was a friend that I raised their child from 6 months to 2 years when they were at work. I didn't raise their child. I just babysat when they were at work for a year and a half, but she was 6 months old when I started. So I've never been around like a newborn ever.
Mm-hmm. But anyhow,
they're fascinating.
But babies and then children keep actually that way of breathing. You know, it's the
they do?
Yeah. Oh yes. Oh, yes. Oh. I taught heart-direvn meditation in the beginning, and I went everywhere, and I went even to preschools to 3-year-olds, and 3-year-olds very easily breathe that way. That's what they do. They don't breathe up here yet, and they speak from their heart. They feel their heart beat like nothing. When you sit in a circle with them and you say, you know, what does your heart want to say, or what does your heart wish for? They speak it out. You say, I want my mother to go with me for swimming today, or whatever is on. It's, you know, you think it's mind, but with these kids, it's all heart.
Yeah.
And we lose our connection to our heart, and this way breathing pretty much 5, 6, 7 years. That's when we lose that.
What years those your ages 5, 6, 7?
8.
8. What happens in those years?
School education. We move.
Being restricted, sitting in the desk. And I like with my disorder, I'm supposed to sit like this. This is actually recommended to be hunched over by doctors. And I agree with it because it's much more comfortable. It doesn't hurt my neck, all the others. It's like the comfortable way. But in school, we have to sit this way. You're right. We are trained like little soldiers to do the same thing. It has to change, though, because people are learning differently. There's so much with computers that teach us better than teachers do now. You know, it's not that teachers don't teach us better. It's just a lot of teachers don't teach us as well as a ChatGPT maybe could teach an individual who doesn't learn well from a traditional, you know, the traditional model is so outdated right now, I think, in education anyway, but
it's so important to learn how to breathe. We don't, everybody breathes, but they don't breathe optimally.
I don't.
And in order to breathe out, to empty the lungs, you've got your diaphragm, which the diaphragm is a muscle that's dome shaped, and when you breathe in, it flattens out and pulls on the bottom of your lungs. When it relaxes, it pushes up again and expels a little bit of air from the lungs, but it can't empty the lungs. It's because it's only relaxing. So the diaphragm relaxes when you breathe out. So there's no power there, see? So that's why if you really want to breathe out, you have to use the stomach muscles.
Push it.
And those push in, and that pushes your guts up into the diaphragm, which pushes then on your lungs. So you can't really breathe out fully, more than half a liter, and you've got a 5-liter lung. So half a liter is what you can do with your diaphragm. So you need to actually use these muscles below the rib cage, you know?
Yes, that's what he was trying to teach me. I moved shortly after I had been visiting with him. So I changed doctors. So, he was in Huntsville. It was an 1.5-hour drive. I couldn't do it after a while. So I changed doctors and he didn't do the same.
And when you breathe in, you need room for all that new air. So you've got to let your belly become a balloon.
Mine doesn't do it. Is that weird? It hurts to do. I need to learn how to do it better.
Yeah, it's a relaxation, and the muscles become easy, and you gotta arch your belly, but it's full of air. It's not fat, it's a big balloon of air. And by breathing that way, you can breathe 3, 4, 5 liters of air, and that gives you energy. See, because breath is energy. It's life. And if you want more life, you need more breath. If you have a little bit of breath, you have a little bit of life. You want half a life, take half a breath. But if you want a full life, you need a full breath. And this is what we teach people, how to breathe.
Yeah. So will you show me what I'm doing wrong? Can you just look at this in video and I can sit up and like turn sideways and you can tell I'm doing it wrong, right? Not wrong, but you can tell I'm not breathing as deeply as I possibly can. Correct?
Well,
both can tell because I'm tense. Well, I can tell. So like what I'm saying is like, if you look at like right here, this is hard for me to fill up through here with air. It's hard for me to get.
Well, first you start.
It stops. And if I push, then it goes out. See, if I push it like that, then it goes out.
So you have to start exhaling first.
Start exhaling first?
Exhaling first to contract. Contract as much as you can. Pull the muscles back all the way to your spine. Yeah, pull in. And even pull.
That's a little easier. That is a little easier than what I was doing.
Pull your buttocks together. Pull your thighs. Pull.
I need to stand up. Yeah. Okay. See. Here we go. Okay. Let's see if we can get my side showing. Because I can feel it. I want to show it to the listeners, so if the watchers and you guys, so you can see like that's as high. That's as much as I can breathe in.
That's good. Well, you're not breathing in. You're exhaling. You're sending all the air out and contracting your abdominal muscles.
There, I felt like I did it right that time.
You're doing well. It becomes concave, yes. And
that's
then
you said to do, go concave first, right?
Yes, you exhale first and you pull it all together like as much as you can. And then you inhale and you relax the abdominal muscles, push them out, make everything wide, make your hips wide, your thighs wide, everything widens.
Oh, that helps a lot.
Yeah, it's inhalation, exhalation.
You know, one way you can see that.
I mean, this may sound weird to you guys. No one ever taught me how to do that. No one teaches you how to do that. Who teaches you how to do that? It's your autonomic process, right? But and your children, you should be taught that. That's a great thing to be taught, I think.
We learn this too as when you do singing. You know, opera singers, they say you can push the piano with your abdominal muscles.
Yeah, they can.
When you are fully inhaled, but you have to really exhale completely. You sort of wring out your muscles. You completely.
Yes, I'm getting that better. Thank you for explaining that. That you guys are a great team, man. You do a really good job together. I love this. And also, listeners and watchers, I hope that helped you because I have not been able to like inhale, exhale, just typical relaxation breathe ever. So this is really helpful to me for you to walk through very, very basic steps of that. And I hope listeners or watchers, especially, you got something out of seeing my stomach moving when she was telling me what to do. If you have that same issue with breathing, because I mean, it's not just hypermobile people, a lot of anxious people do. Yes. And a lot of people working with their spirituality and their energy and their magic, they are anxious, especially when they start, you know, he's like, whoa, this is weird. Or if nothing's happening, they might be anxious that they're doing it wrong or they're not talented or something. But they are. So that like this really helps me a lot. And breathing, I really believe is like what I learned in yoga before I believed I worked with psychic ability, that I believe psychic was a thing. I really loved yoga, and that breath of life, the prana, was how I was first taught of chi or ki. The prana, the breath of life, was a really first big awakening thing for me to think about. So that you went there with me. The only time I've really experienced the breath of life is in yoga poses and when I'm working with chi, with just the energy of chi. And I don't think about it. I'm not thinking about it.
When you're working at home, try laying on the floor.
Okay.
And put books on your tummy.
That is what this doctor says to do. Put books on your tummy. How many books would you like keep adding to them?
No, it takes one book, but you make that book go up and down.
Okay.
And then you lay on your stomach, you should feel your bottom go up and down.
Okay.
So this is breathing, and this is the basic stuff. You know, everybody has this problem because everybody breathes.
Yes. I think they do. A lot of people do. Most people do who had never learned it before. No one teaches this.
That's why everybody's tired all the time. There's no energy, you know. And this is the vital stuff.
This is something I'm very interested in right now. So y'all came along at the right time for me anyway, and hopefully for our listeners and watchers. So where can they find you? Where do you exist in the world and on the internet? Do you have a website or anywhere like that?
Our website is IAM, the word I am, right? 2 words, I am heart, iamheart.org.
iamHeart.org.
Yes.
ORG, guys.
Then
I'll put that in the description.
you put a /gift on the end of that. It'll take you to a place where you can get a lot of free advice about meditation.
Okay, I'll put that in there too, guys.
And then there's an app. The app is called Breath and Heart. It's free for Android and iPhone.
Yeah.
It has hundreds of meditations in it.
That's wonderful.
You can use the app to, guide you through a meditation.
Yeah.
It's sequences of meditation. There are steps, so you might have 8 steps, and it takes you through a series of, more advanced method. And it helps you coordinate your heartbeat and your breath, because some people don't feel their heartbeat, at least initially. And so with the app, you can put your finger over the lens of the camera.
Oh, really?
It picks up your pulse. The camera sees a little bit change in color.
Oh.
Every time you get a heartbeat, the finger gets a little bit more red. You wouldn't notice it with your eyes.
Because that light is just blimped out a little bit. Yeah.
Computer can see it. And so now it makes a little sound every time there's a pulse.
Cool.
It tells you to breathe in 8 beats and breathe out.
What's the name of your app?
Breath and Heart.
Breath and Heart. And I'll put a link to the Google. And do you have it on Apple and Google Play, or is it just on Apple, or is it on both platforms, the app?
Both, yes.
Okay, I'll put a link to both of the platforms that the app is on, guys. And I want to ask you for some last advice for our listeners and watchers. That's what I'd love to do at last advice. So for our listeners and watchers, let's say they've been listening to this and they're like me and they never knew they couldn't breathe. And this is the first time they figured it out. Like I figured it out with that chiropractor, and you guys just gave me a whole bunch more to work with. Let's see, this is the first time they watched this and they're like, I don't do that. I shallow breathe too, and I never noticed it. What would you say would be a good first step for them? A real baby first step to where they don't go, oh, hell no, I'm not trying this when they first try it. Because that's what I thought. I was like, oh, that's too hard. And I kept doing it and it was worth it, but I need to do it more. But what would you advise to them? The first time they try it, they're like, oh no, that's too hard. I'm backing off. What would you encourage them with?
A lot of people think meditation is hard because they have the wrong instructions. It's the wrong method. The old method from thousands of years ago was empty your mind. Well, why do that? We don't want people to empty their mind. We want them to turn on their heart. Don't turn off anything.
I like that. Get it all through here. That's why you have nothing to worry about.
The mind is very useful. It just shouldn't be in charge.
I agree.
The heart should be in charge. So you put your attention on your heart, and you actually think about this heart organ, which is in your chest, right in the middle, right under the sternum. And you put your attention there as you breathe. And see, breath is moving energy. When you breathe, you move energy. And where does it go? It goes to where your attention is placed. So if you're thinking of your heart, the breath goes there, the energy goes there.
Yes.
Magical things start to happen. The circulation pattern of your body changes. Your heart starts to get more circulation, more blood. It gets stronger, it beats stronger, and it begins to be more rhythmic. So this is really useful in our lives because we get out of rhythm so easily, and the heart can bring us back into a nice, steady rhythm.
An energetic rhythm, an intellectual rhythm, a physical rhythm, and an emotional rhythm. Everything kind of syncs back up when we do this, I think. And it's amazing. It's great. What were you about to say, Susanna? I look like you had something to add to that.
And that way you become more psychic.
That is true. That's true.
When you are in rhythm, with your heart, then your heart starts speaking and tells you how to move forward.
It does.
Where to go, what to eat, what to wear. It tells you everything.
Not hard. It's not as hard. It's not hard. It's just there. The answers are just there. Yeah. And you're happy about it because you're going by your heart. Your heart is like in a happy place, right?
Yeah. By heart, right?
Yeah. I love this podcast, guys. Thank you so much for coming on And I'd like to thank my sponsor, Everclear. Everclear is an advice app and website where you can get advice from psychics and empaths, so you can get the clarity you need to create the life you deserve. And I am Lisa Russick on that particular application. And the app is called Everclear Advice App in the app stores, and it's everclear.com as the website. And every advisor on there will love you forever. And they do. I know they do. They are going to be happy to give you a reading, as happy as I am if you were to come ask me for a reading. They're all great on there. Everybody's just amazing on Everclear. So you guys, lastly, do you love the listeners and the watchers?
Wonderful. We're very happy to meet you and to be here, and happy to share our meditation with you. Thank you.
I'm very happy you're here to share the meditation. And listeners and watchers, I think that means they love you and they didn't hear me very well because I talk very fast. I do talk very fast. I love you, listeners and watchers. They love you too. And I will put everything about them that they want you to know about them in the description of the podcast. And everybody have a wonderful time wherever you may be. Peace out. Goodbye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thank you so much for having us, Lisa.
You are so welcome. And you're welcome back anytime. Thank you so much.